Hey everyone, welcome to Joko Outdoors. My name's Ken.
I'm Brian.
And today we got another awesome product from Lone Survivalist.
That's right.
And you know, we already did the flashlights, but I got something that's even better than that. It's their new product. They've just released it this year. And
just in the last couple of months.
In the last couple of months. And it is awesome.
Yeah.
So we've had a chance to run it through, but we're using Brian's. So I'm going to do an unboxing of mine because I haven't, broke the seal yet.
You ask what we're talking about. Before we get to that, if this is your first time here, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell
right down there.
Give us a big thumbs up. I mean, a big one. Look at the screen. When you see that big thumb come across the screen, give us a big thumbs up. Share the videos and leave a comment below. We want to know what your thoughts are on it.
Because I want to thank you guys, because every day I see somebody else new subscribing.
That's right.
That's because you guys are sharing the videos.
Right, and we're over 700 subscribers now.
Reaching that point where we get to 1,000, which will be our next giveaway. So,
So
you guys help us get there, and we'll be more than happy to reciprocate with giving you something awesome.
Yeah. I give another awesome giveaway. Right. Before we get into the reveal, let's get to the opening credits. So, thanks for staying with us, and thanks for subscribing like I know you did.
Yep.
Now.
All right, so, without further ado, I want to show you the Blak knife.
BAM!
And, let me tell you, black knives matter.
Amen! Amen. We all got to have a black knife.
Black knives matter. I mean, I've seen silver knives, I've seen this knife, that, even my K-bar, my Marine Corps K-bar is black.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that, because they hold up better. I think they hold up better, me personally. All right,
yeah,
so
the K-bars are awesome.
Got the magnetic
case. But we're talking
case,
about the black knife right here.
But here you go. So
Lone Survivalist.
I'm going to go ahead and pop this out. All right, so the case is pretty nice, but this thing is off the chain. All right, so you've got a Kydex holster, and the knife fits in. I mean, it's really tight. Look at this. I mean, I'm pulling on this. So you got to pull it out of there. And look at this guy. Look at this thing. This thing is insane. It's got a nice beefy blade on it. The back of it is about about 1/8 of an inch thick. So it's going to be good for batoning and things like that. And we're going to run it through all the tests here. It's got a full tang blade and a Kydex handle, which feels really great. It's got a nice curve to it.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it feels really awesome. So
I've had mine out, using mine a little bit, and just the handle, I mean, you say it's like, oh, it's a big bulky handle, but I'm going to tell you something. When you put that handle in your hand, it's so comfortable.
It is.
It feels so good.
I've had some knives that were custom made, with custom handles, and this feels as good as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we're going to run this through some tests, give it a full go, because I would like to see, I want to brand this as a survival knife.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have the little unscrew thing with the fishing rod. That's a bunch of garbage. That's old Rambo thing. Survival knife means, can you use this knife to get yourself out of a jam? So would this be part of your EDC, your everyday carry? And I'm going to say yes, this knife will actually be going into my EDC as the primary knife for anything that I get stuck in.
Another thing with the sheath that I like too, whenever you hook it on there, I'm going to get a little bit closer so you guys can see it. It's got this hook right here so that it stays onto your belt loop, or your belt. That way it doesn't pop off or anything. So once this slides over your belt and you try to take it off, you actually have to open it up to take it off the belt, because if you try to do it right now, this is going to get attached inside it. Exactly. So I like that too.
All right. Also, right here there are 2 hex screws that you can adjust where this knife sits. So I don't know if you, I carry a pistol all the time. And you, sometimes you have the pistol, you get it on your belt and you can't quite get it adjusted. Well, this knife has got slides in here where you can move this back and forth. But here's the cool thing. This is actually a screw. So you can take this and flip this completely over. And now it's mounted upside down, which is awesome. I don't know a single other knife sheath that's just for a knife sheath that I've looked on Amazon. I don't know another one that has this capability to be that flex. So you can turn the clip sideways, you can turn it upside down, you can make it like it is now. Unreal, unreal, a great quality product. All right, so now let's get into the what I call the torture test. Because that's the testament of a good knife, is will it hold up to the conditions that you're going to need to run it through?
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, I'm telling you, it came out of the box. It's sharp. I mean, I don't know if we can get it close up here. I'll just show you how sharp it is.
Look, here, hold on, we'll get it close up.
You know, you always do the old hair shaving test. So, I don't know if y'all can see that. There used to be hair there.
Oh, yeah. Definitely see it.
I mean, it took it right off, and I'm not like scraping. I'm just laying it on my arm for fear that I might cut myself. So, all right. So first thing most people do, and I'm running this through a normal knife test like most people do. First thing they do, they grab a piece of paper, and they see, okay, let's see how sharp the knife is.
That's pretty sharp.
I mean, this is a thin piece. Oops, tore it there. This is a thin piece of paper, and it's just whacking right through it.
Yeah.
All right, so comes out of the box. And I haven't done nothing. I haven't sharpened this. Haven't done a thing. It came out of the box like this.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can attest to that too because that was one of the first things I'd done.
Oh, and one thing about I've always told people about knives. You know what knife cuts the worst? A dull knife.
That's right. Yeah, for
so,
sure.
All right, so let's run this through some tests. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some batoning tests. We're going to do a chop test. And we want to see, because just because it has a sharp blade, that doesn't mean that it's going to hold up to the rigors of what we'll need. And I'm going to do, after we do all that, I'm going to show you how to make how we use this to make a whittle, and how you would use the backside of this to strike a flame. Because, like I said, this has got to be a survival knife, a survival process. I mean, they're called Lone Survivalists for a reason, because this is a survival type knife. All right, so let's get into the test.
All right, we got our rope here. I mean, what's that rope? How thick is that rope right
there? It
is
1 inch.
It's an inch thick.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So what you see? So remember, we've always seen this. Anybody seen Forged in Fire? I know everybody's seen it. So that's one of the things they always talk about is a knife cutting a rope. All right. So look at this. Boom. I mean, it went through it like butter. I mean,
I don't own a knife that will cut through a rope that thick, that easy. Two chops, man. Two chops.
I'll put this up against any of them Forged in Fire knives they got out there. I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It was a clean pass-through cut, and then the chop was, I don't think you could get any cleaner than that with a chop.
Yeah, I chopped the first 2 strands, and then I finished it off with the last one. Awesome knife.
Yeah.
Awesome
seriously.
knife so far. All right, so now, let me get this box out of the way. We're going to get the batoning stuff up here. So I got some batoning materials. And I thought about it. I was like, well, I'm going to try and get all the wood that I can. But I think we're going to just go off of, what you have. Now, obviously, if you're in a survival situation, the knife is, you're not going to find nothing like this.
Yeah, for sure.
I went out this morning and used the maul to, get this stuff off here. And I want to show you that it is a actual piece of log. I mean, it's hard. Got a worm in there, but it's hard. So this is a piece of gum, sweet gum. All right, so batoning. So put the knife up here.
Hold on, let me get a close up of it.
All right.
Let me get it close. All
right. Now, what do we do batoning for? Well, this piece of wood would be great in a working fire that was already running, but we need wood to start the fire with. So we need to make some kindling out of this. So that's what batoning is mostly for, not for, much of anything else, because everything else you would probably need an axe for. So this is not an axe. You're not going to be chopping logs into this particular thing. but you can't baton with most axe because the blade's not long enough. All right, so we're going to set this on here. Brian's got us all zoomed in. All right, and we're going to baton this down. Oop, checked it off. Let me get a little bit of a bigger bite on there so it won't break off. Oak is hard. This junk is hard. I don't care what nobody says. This is not a soft wood.
I mean, that stuff is, yeah, sweet gum. Sweet gum's one of the hardest. I can tell you right now, climbing trees, I hate getting in a sweet gum tree because the climber doesn't dig into the wood. This is a hard wood right here, and it just, I mean, it really cut it. Yep. And, I mean, it's not an axe or anything, but I mean, that's amazing.
I want to go through one more, just because when we cut kindling, we don't just cut one piece. We cut multiple pieces. I can't say anything more about it. Now, I went and pulled a piece of oak pallet out of my stock because I want to see how well it goes through oak. So, here we go. Give it a try.
Look at that, man. Oak's a hard wood, too.
This is red oak, by the way.
Oh, red oak's even harder. I mean, look at that, man. I mean, that's crazy. Look at that is crazy.
All right, now. I mean, I'm whittling chunks off of this thing. All right, so let's take a look at the edge because we done baton 2 hard pieces of wood, and you can see this edge has no indentions. And I'm about to cut my finger off, rubbing it up and down there because it is still perfectly in perfect condition. It has not marred. I can't see any marring on the edge. It is still in perfect condition. So how do we test it? Well, where's that piece of paper at? There it is. All right.
I mean, look at that.
I mean,
just seriously, man.
We've cut through rope. We've cut through. It's like you can tell it has lost a little sharpness. I can't even tell you how impressed I am with this knife. Insane quality. Once again from our friends at Lone Survivalist. There we go.
All right, let's see if it'll still cut the hair. That's a good.
I'm not good. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna have a weird looking arm.
Hold on.
Weird looking arm. We'll pick a new spot here. So this is a spot we did before. So I'm gonna roll this up. We're gonna do it right here. Gone.
I mean, after all that stuff.
All that. So we cut a rope. We did it, holding it, cutting it, sawing it like a rope you'd cut. Then we chopped it, and then we batoned 2 hard pieces of wood, and not a. I mean, it's got some scratches on it, but I expect that. It's a knife.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's not a piece of jewelry. It's a knife. And I'm going to tell you, I can't say anything more about this. This knife is just insane. I mean,
this is what we went through right here.
I mean, it is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Brian's had a chance to play with his a little more.
I mean, we went through this. Okay? We went through this. We went through this.
Yep.
Okay.
Now the next thing I want to do is I want to show you some intricate things that you can do with this. So You can't really chop with this because the blade is really not designed for that. It doesn't have a good, so if you're banging on a piece of wood, you know, it's not really designed for that, but it does do a pretty good job of chopping. Back up here. Chopping. Like I said, it's not designed for that, but it does a pretty doggone good job. Obviously, an axe would do a hatchet or do a whole lot better than that. It's because the blade is designed for that.
Right.
This does have a pretty fair amount of power behind it, though. And one thing I did notice, as I'm hitting that log, there's no vibration. This Kydex, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. I can't say enough about it. I mean, I've had other knives with plasticky handles on them.
This knife has impressed me. I've not went through this much stuff with mine, but I mean, I have taken it and I've, you know, cut up meat, cuts through meat like butter, you know.
No curling.
Even thought about using this as a skinning knife. I wouldn't think twice about using it as a skinning knife.
And we can't show you, I'm going to do it next time we kill a deer. We can't show you that because YouTube has got rules about showing gory stuff now.
Right.
You know, they've been demonetizing people, so you had to have your video previously up before they put the new rules in play.
Right.
So I don't know what we're going to do because we can't do an outdoor show without showing some gory stuff. It's just the way it is. So we won't be able to show you any kill shots or any weirdness like that. But all right, the next thing I want to do, I want to show you, I've got a piece of a tree here that I pulled out. Survival situation. All right, so if you've got a EDC pack, you should have a piece of tarp or something like that, and you need a ridge pole. You know, so limb cut off or fell down off this tree. I just need to clean this up a little bit so I don't poke a hole in my tarp. I'm just going to cut the knots off of here. Like I said, this is a piece of cherry, so cherry knots are not very friendly to get cut through. Put my hand up here so I'm going to end up cutting myself. Process. There we go. All right, that knot. There's a couple more up here, you know, little small ones. And this one's got a cool little feature on it. I just happened to find it. It's got a Y on the front of it, which is kind of neat because that makes for like putting this into a place, and then you got a nice ridge pole here to put your tarp across and tie it down, make you a tent. Now, need to start a fire. All right, so I'm going to use the same piece of wood, and I'll show you. Probably not a good piece of wood to be doing this with. You wouldn't want to do this with cherry anyway. You want to do this with pine, but I didn't feel like going to get a pine limb. But cutting some small slivs out of here to use as kindling for your fire. Alright, like I said, I wouldn't have chosen a cherry thing, but you know, that's what we had. We used what we had. But it cleans. I mean, you'll skin this wood off. I mean, all that stud bark that's falling off is good kindling.
That's definitely a great knife to. Here's your skinning video right here. We're gonna skin this limb. We can't show a whole lot of gore, so we're just gonna skin the limb of a tree right here. I mean, look at that. Look how clean that was coming off. I mean,
it's come off like paper, almost.
Dude, this knife, Lone Survivalist.
I can't say
really.
enough about it.
I mean, they really really knew what they were doing whenever they were designing this thing. I mean, we've cut through wood, we've skinned this limb right here, cut the knots off the limbs. I mean, knots are hard to cut off too. You know, I mean, unless you got like a chainsaw or a huge axe or something.
Right.
For a knife to cut through the way that it did, I don't think you're gonna find a better knife.
I mean, like I said, I've got my K-bar, my Marine Corps K-bar. I would put this up against it, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Because I use that knife for everything.
Yep.
You know, it used to be my pack knife. Well, now this is going to become my pack knife. And I can't say enough about it.
You did all that.
I cannot say
Let's try this one more
enough
time.
about it. So I'm going to let Brian do some paper so you don't think it's just me that's... You got to get that angle of the paper just right.
Hold on. There we go. Not quite as smooth this time, but it went through.
We're running it through a stone.
Look at that. Look at that though.
I mean, it's cutting it. It's tearing it, but it's cutting it. Back toward the back where we put the most of the damage on it, the tip is still really sharp. You know, the tip you can do, but back here where we did the majority of the cutting, you know.
I mean, for what it is and the test that it just went through, I think it's still...
At this particular juncture, you can still, now, you know, still make an effective self-defense weapon as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know,
absolutely.
I mean, I can't say enough about it. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you've learned some things about the Blak knife.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you'll go get one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
We'll leave a link
I'll leave a link to it in the description because I want to promote him as much as possible, because when they released this, before they even released, they sent it out to us so we could do get a review on it and just try it out.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm telling you, I'm impressed. I am impressed.
When you guys leave a comment below and tell us what you think about these tests, you know, for it to still do, it wasn't as smooth a cut through the paper after all these tests, but I would expect that to happen after all these tests. But for what it did cut, it was still cut. Look, I have seen knives be put through the same kind of test and not cut paper at all, or just tear it to shreds and rip it all up instead of the smooth cuts that this one's still done. You know, by far it's my favorite knife that I have. I don't have all the knives in the world, but the knives I do have, you know, I've got probably maybe 10, 12, 15 different knives. Out of all the knives I have, this is by far my favorite one. The weight on it's good. It's not an extremely heavy knife. It's pretty balanced out. The handle feels great in your hand. That's one thing I love about it. Some knives just kind of feel funky whenever you're holding them. It feels like you can't get a good grip on it for certain things. This one's not like that. This one feels really, I mean, it just feels awesome in your hand whenever you're holding it. It does look like it's got a little maybe glass buster right here on the back side, so I do like that feature. I like the sheath.
Or nutcracker.
Yeah, exactly,
Yep.
a nutcracker. You know, all in all, you guys go check out Lone Survivalist. We'll leave a link in the description below for this knife specifically and for their primary website. Go check out what Lou's done with everything. He's got multiple different things on there, but you know, we've got to experience the two lights and these knives right here, and they're high quality. I've seen some people out there say some things about them, but I'm going to tell you my experience with them, they're high quality. The light that I have is my favorite light. My kids use it all the time. They don't like going outside at night to take the dogs out, but once they get that flashlight in their hands, I don't have to tell them again. They grab the flashlight, they go, they're not afraid of anything, it's bright. This knife right here is going to make me feel better whenever I'm out in the field, that if I need to, you know, cut a stick down or split wood. We saw it splits wood. Maybe you have to have another piece of wood to hammer it down, but it splits wood and it still stays sharp. You know, they've got some great product. I'll vouch for them any day of the week.
Yep.
So, you got anything else you want to add to it?
No, I mean, I showed you, and he said it all. There's nothing else I can add.
So, you know, we thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, leave a comment below, hit that notification bell. That way you get notified every time we put a video up. Share the videos, and, you know, just continue doing what you're doing. We thank you for all that you do. We wouldn't have this channel without you. We're growing, and we're growing. We're over 700 now, and hopefully before the end of the year we'll hit 1,000. That's what I pray happens, and I know that God will let it happen if it's a part of His will, because you know, as the word says, if God is for me, who can be against me? If God is for this channel, nobody can stop it. I promise you that, because He is in control. But we thank you guys. We love you guys. And remember, this is God's country.
Y'all take care. We'll see you.